from one Bitcoin blowout to another. Crypto getting crushed this week as the major currencies plunge double-digit percentages. Seema Modi is at the Blockchain Unbound conference in Puerto Rico with more. Hey, Seema.
Hey, Melissa, and one of the big topics of discussion at this conference is what a rough week it's been for cryptocurrencies. Over $62 billion in market cap erased overnight, and folks here say it's a couple different factors contributing to the decline. First, those regulatory fears of a crackdown after the Senate's hearing around initial coin offerings, and Google's surprising decision to ban cryptocurrency advertisements. It's seen as a setback for an industry that is still in its infancy and arguably needs outlets like Google and Facebook to get the word out.
It's probably a concern for the industry. It's definitely a concern for people that do a lot of public sale marketing. We specifically avoid that. We don't do public sale marketing because, frankly, the rule sets are not necessarily clear right now. We're all about self-regulatory movement. Blockchain Industries is part of a couple of different groups, and we also have our own self-regulatory piece.
I also spoke to Ari Paul, the head of Block Tower Capital, one of the larger digital currency hedge funds. He says many cryptocurrency speculators were hoping for institutional money to pour in and continue providing tailwinds, but instead of a flood, we've only been seeing a trickle. Looking forward, there is growing uncertainty around the upcoming G20 meeting, where there is rumored that Japanese finance minister will make some statements around cryptocurrencies, specifically on the role that cryptocurrencies play in money laundering. So look out for that. In the meantime, Bitcoin back above 8,000. And Melissa, our coverage will continue tomorrow. We'll look at how Puerto Rico is trying to become a viable destination for blockchain and cryptocurrency startups. Back to you.
Yep. Seema, thank you. Seema Modi from the Blockchain Unbound conference. It's interesting, the commentary about the institutional investors. We were just talking to Grayscale the other day, and they have a product which could actually tick the boxes when it comes to institutional investors. Is it just about to come, you think? I mean,
look, there's no question that institutions are, first of all, in this trade, and they're invested a number of different ways, in many ways in the VC side. Some of them are in the currencies or the tokens directly. So yeah, to me, this is not a question of efficacy or proof of concept or anything. This is about liquidity. This is about what's the right vehicle. This is about obsolescence already before you become, 1 year old. And I think that's the dynamic here. But institutional players, for sure.
Yeah, and I think they're dipping their toe in the water right now. I think the thing that's weighing on cryptocurrencies or digital assets this year is obviously the fear of regulation. I think big institutions to go all in, or actually to go more than they need regularly. They need to see these guardrails in place. So I think in a lot of ways, at a crypto conference like they have down there, they're all worried because their digital assets are going lower. The people who are investing in blockchain from a VC standpoint, they're actually excited about it. It's really giving them a lot of opportunities here.
Yeah. For more on the Bitcoin collapse, we want to bring in BK.
Come on.
Brian Kelly, who is also in Puerto Rico. Why? Because he's a crypto baller himself, and that's where they go. Hi, BK. So what did you make? What do you make of the?
That's what you do when you're a crypto baller.
What do you make of the ongoing collapse, and have you actually added to any positions?
We added a little bit to some Bitcoin today. The ongoing collapse is a combo of a couple different things. Really, it starts, you guys were talking about the regulatory uncertainty, and I haven't been a big fan of that term, but there is a little bit of uncertainty now because the SEC has sent out some subpoenas, and the question is, what are they going to declare securities? And that's unclear. Sometimes these tokens act as securities, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they act as a currency. So until that's defined, a lot of stuff is stalled, and a lot of capital is kind of on the sidelines waiting to see what's happening, and that's why you see this grind down in Bitcoin.
I'm going to ask you a potentially stupid question.
No
I have no fear of being called stupid. Why is it, though, that the cryptocurrencies themselves are trading down, and trading down pretty much across the board equally on the fear of regulation, when the regulation looks like it's coming in the ICO part of the business?
So that's actually not a stupid question, Melissa. You're quite brilliant with your questions. The reason why is a lot of these ICOs, you need to buy the original cryptocurrency. So the reason why Ethereum ran up at the last year, about second quarter of last year, there are a lot of these ICOs. To participate in the ICO, you need to buy Ethereum or you need to buy Bitcoin. So without that buying flow, that takes a huge amount of liquidity out of the market.
So if we permanently see the flow of ICOs dampened because of increased regulation, then the past highs on these coins theoretically should not be attainable again. for a while at least.
Well, I actually think, yeah, I mean, so here's what I think is going to happen. Here's what I'm seeing in the marketplace. You're seeing a bifurcation. You are going to see people invest in the pure currencies. So think Bitcoin, Litecoin, Monero, Bitcoin Cash. Any of those that are truly pure currencies are going to get a lot of the attention. There will be a whole swath of these tokens that will move over to securities exchanges that are coming out. Open Financial Network has one as well. So I think you're going to see that bifurcation. You actually could see a bunch of these tokens. We have 1,500 or so now. You might see that whittled down to 500 or so that are really liquid and investable, and those will do quite well. But between then and now, it's going to be a little rough.
So talk to me about this whole Puerto Rico thing. All right, so all you guys go down to Puerto Rico. Is this just some giant boondoggle? Or what is the government, I mean, does the government really want Puerto Rico and think Puerto Rico could be the next Bitcoin blockchain capital when it doesn't even have power for its citizens?
I thought it required a lot of power, too.
Well, there's plenty of power here. I mean, look at all the energy behind me. Yeah. So there are a couple jurisdictions that are really vying for this, and the government here in Puerto Rico obviously is looking for ways to attract businesses. Cryptocurrency is a new business. There is plenty of electricity here. Remember, we're not doing mining here. You're simply setting up businesses here. So I do think this is a viable place, as viable a place as Switzerland, as Singapore, as Hong Kong, and that's what we're all here to find out is how to do it in this environment.
All right, thanks, BK.
Looks warm.
My pleasure.
Adios.
Doesn't he? Looks like he's sweating.
I mean, he might move
nice
for all I know.
He's so lingual. Yeah.
He sweats, guys. We know that. We know that from the set. I just want to make one point. This is something I've been fairly consistent about. You know, when things got a little crazy with all these in late December, and even, you know, people were trying to buy that first dip in January, what's really important to remember is that they massively overshot on the upside. Everybody knew that. Everyone who was participating in it, and it's likely to do the same thing on the downside. So, you know, if you're, you know, just a trader, there's the volatility that you can trade, but I think you have to understand that this Bitcoin in particular was trading 2,000 a year ago, you know, and it went up to 20,000, and now it's at 8,000.
It's about managing your risk, and Tim's done a great job of putting it out there of how much risk really should be involved in the trade of your entire portfolio. Very small amount, right? I mean, so you've got that sort of a carrot out there. I still lean towards the areas that sort of feed into the blockchain, the Bitcoin, and all the rest of it. Something like, I'll tell you, I know you guys are going to look at me crazy, IBM. I think there's technology companies out there.
It's not a real blockchain play, is it, Pete?
You're right. It's not. But it's indirect, and they are going to be a bigger piece of this as it goes forward, and I think that's another growth area of IBM. I think there's a lot of reasons to like IBM.
BK has said that as well, the IBM.
There you go,
yes,
the IBM.
There's a small percentage of revenues, though, is my point.
Listen, last year there was about $800 million in services, in blockchain services. IBM captured about a third of it, and that's one of the reasons why I think people think they're very focused on it. But when you think about the company, you think about the revenue base, it doesn't really move the needle. But the opportunity is it's something they really focus on.
But IBM needs a catalyst, and let's be clear. I mean, they've done a deal with Maersk. They have a shipping decentralized platform that's based off of blockchain technology. That's happening, and I think that's real.
Yes.
All right, still ahead.
Bogdanov, e-book The Deep.
Continuité d'Homp.
Panic Sol.
Temporary bottom, reversal.
Not paying.
Point pit and pay table flag. Put him to sleep. Load the Korea food.
Is awake.
Make him think it's the bottom. Drop off the volume. Dump it again. Push it sideways. Print 100 million Ether when it goes to sleep. 10 point pit.
Is awake.
Load a dip.
He books the deep.
Sideways until he sleeps, then crash with the exact same Korea fund. Get Vitalik on the lane. Point pattern for 2 hours and then wake him up.
Okay. Is awake.
Load the flip on in trade.
If you dead wet.
Crash it.
He trying to kill himself.
Activate quantum immortality. Now print 200 million Tether.
He thinks we are going to.
We are, let him in.
He's in.
Pump it.
He thinks he's about to make it.
Kill him. Transfer everything. and ten filed a notaire.